So yesterday, Apple had its big day where it got up on stage. Actually, it didn't get up on stage.
I
I
was
guess
going to say
they
that's an
somebody in a
AI generation of some kind occurred.
somebody in a back room hit a play button while Tim Cook was on the phone to find out they got to pay $13 billion in back taxes.
They must have known that was coming. I
Yeah, they
mean,
had to.
I think we talked about this, how they rescheduled it. And
I mean,
I guess at the
Tim Cook
time,
is not sitting in his office opening up letters and be like, "Huh, like,
did anyone see this letter from the EU? Nothing? No, just me.
can you take this down to AR for me or AP?" And,
Oh, boy. So what do you think? What was your takeaway here?
So it's funny if you went back to like 2020, we'll just say then. Like, what's
Okay.
the iPhone look like in 2024? Everyone probably would have guessed no buttons, right? Like they're moving
Not
to,
more buttons. Yeah,
But now they've added 2 buttons.
I know.
Which,
I think of Steve Jobs when this type of thing happens, and how against this he was. Although he also was responsible for the original little series of buttons, right? That
yeah,
the original iPhone had or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think I don't know. I don't know what they think. I mean, next year we're going to get that first slimmer kind of
hmm
iPad Air thing or whatever they're going to call it, and maybe that becomes the start of the next rev. Kind of like what was the first one, the iPhone X or 10 or whatever was that
yeah.
first what they would call an all-screen design, which hilarious. Uh, what are you going to do? It's a mature market, right? I mean,
Man, that's a good point.
it's possible. I mean, how we're past the point where we can get excited by like new hardware stuff. Although Apple will eventually do some kind of folding display, and then others, and that will be that'll be a nice little rev or whatever. Even though they're years late to that game, but I actually think the most profound thing happening here is the part we don't understand yet, which is the Apple Intelligence stuff, which is based on these AI models, which is yes, the same thing Google's doing.
Which also won't
Um,
launch on these phones either.
well, it will and it won't. I mean,
I
it
mean,
will
if you open
be.
your phone in September and you're like, comes the new Siri,
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. No, I
you're not
mean,
gonna.
right. I mean, it will happen over time, but that's not bad. Like I would say, one of the benefits of the Pixel ecosystem is these quarterly feature drops, right? And so they do monthly updates sometimes. They have Android updates that go to whatever supported Android versions, but they also do Pixel specific feature drops, which are meaningful. And if you were to look at the past 4, you would see a really nice set of new features occurring there. And so, I mean, they would probably prefer to roll it all out at once, but they are doing that with Apple Intelligence. And it's it's like getting a new iPhone in your iPhone, Brad. It's
Mhm.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be more protracted than people understand too, because it's coming in beta in October in
Right.
18.1, probably not in final form or whatever that means until December, and then only US English, right? And then there'll be 18.1, 18.2 in time and whatever. You're right. I mean, it will probably it's like when the last Call of Duty season lands in like the month before the new game, and it's like, are we really still doing this?
Yeah.
Google just shipped a feature for the Pixel 8 that they announced last October. They just shipped it. So sometimes these things take a while. We'll see. But I don't know.
Yeah. I gotta see.
Did
I'm
you look
not.
at any? Are you gonna any purchases in your
I don't know.
history?
I think it's more. So you can already do what Apple would give you for a trade-in. So it would cost me
Mhm.
$750 to update
To what?
to like trade in my phone and buy the Pro that I would want, like with 256 storage.
All right, but let me ask you a question. This is like my theory of real estate in a way. Is it going to be worth more in a year? I mean, is the phone that's coming out in a year so great that it makes sense to wait? Your phone is what, 3 years old, right? We established yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not like Joe Schmo out there. You should have a new phone, man. You deserve it. You need it.
Is Tim Cook like holding a gun to your head off camera?
I am impressed by people in our industry who can sit still on like an older device. It's
No,
rare.
don't get me wrong. Like I would be happy with the new phone, but I'm waiting to see what Verizon's gonna do.
Let me ask you, what do we have to do, Brad, to get you in this iPhone today? Right? This is the question. Because by the way, this is one of the little untold stories of this launch. Not true of the Pro Max, but if you look at the normal iPhone 16s and you go through the little wizard thing and you're like, where would you like to have this phone? Right.
Hmm.
So let's say it's $899 or something. I'm going to have it on AT&T. All right. That will be $899. I would like to have it on Verizon. Excellent. $899. I would like it not to be on a carrier. Okay. It will be $949. Wait, what? I don't think they've ever done that before. Like there's a little bit of a bump for it doesn't say unlocked anymore. They're all unlocked, right? But it has different language now. It kind of says something like no carrier, or I will add it to a carrier later myself, whatever. And they actually charge a little bit more for it. That's kind of curious. I do. By the way, also speaking of this and the whole upgrade thing, did you notice how overt it was when, I don't know if it was at the end or at the end of the iPhone non-pro part, but whoever it was from Apple said, hey, by the way, we're offering terrific trade-in values, and our partners at carriers are offering even better deals of their own. So, like it was kind of like like they're not usually that kind of bald-faced about like, come on, we really
The hard sale.
Yeah, that was weird, right? That's not like the Apple way. I thought that was unusual.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll wait and see what Verizon wants to.
So there's another. This probably isn't new. Something I just noticed too. There were pre-orders, right? And then you can kind of pre-order the pre-order, like Samsung does this kind of thing where I'm going to pre-order the pre-order. I don't believe this is new. I just happened to notice this, but you can actually go to apple.com or Apple Store app on your device or whatever and be like, I want to buy this thing. And they're like, okay, what would you like to buy? Do you have a trade-in? Yes. How would you like to pay for it? Sorry. It's like a sneeze in the waiting there. And you configure the whole thing, and they're like, we'll send you a reminder 10 minutes before whatever time it is on Friday, and you'll have just a couple of clicks. So you don't have to go through all that right then. Like you can actually, and you can order a case right now and have it by Friday. Actually, you can have it earlier than Friday. Like you can actually just kind of set it up. I don't know what that's called. It's like you're pre-configuring your pre-order or something. Or
capitalism.
Right. Apple's pretty innovative when it comes to separating money from your pocket, actually. It might be their key strength. It's good. It's like Amazon's a logistics company. Google's an ad company. Microsoft is like a clown car of stupidity. We need like concise ways to describe these companies.
Apple's like the claw game, but they're just really good at navigating it to your pocket.
Right. It's just the thing is full of money and the thing that's using is a vacuum cleaner. Yeah. I was semi-expecting you to be like, yeah, I ordered something.
You looked at it, right? The biggest draw for me is USB-C over everything that was announced.
Yeah. They sort of insinuated that the USB-C on the Pros was faster than before.
Some sort of faster thing.
I don't know what that means. I think the version last year was 10 gigabits. So
I really wanted Apple to get up there and explain USB-C and let them die.
It's funny because this thing, it works, but either way, it's fun. Yeah, I guess Lightning did too.
The watches, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good updates. Like, I'm not discounting. I think the thing is like Apple, they're not targeting. They said something too during this. Like, it's a great time to switch to Apple or something like that. Like, there's new experiences to migrate you over. I don't think their target demographic anymore is like wooing people who have bought every Samsung phone ever. It's just, it's people like me. It's people who have 3-4-year-old Apple devices to update. I
mean, they have an audience of somewhere between probably 1.5 and 2 billion, whatever it is. Yep. And a lot of them are, like you. But again, those people, a lot of them are just typical consumers, right? It's they're not, in the industry or whatever. But year over year, these things don't make a lot of sense. If you look at the Pro Max 16 versus the 15, it's like, well, cameras. Well, actually, there's a ultra wide difference in the lens, which is good. But baby steps, right? Because next year they're going to do a telephoto upgrade, and the year after that they're going to do
Actually, I don't know if they would. I don't know if they make a phone thinner. You can already hear the marketing. It's like, look, this phone is 30% thinner, has the same cameras, but we've improved them with software. It's just magic that we were able to do this.
So I haven't done this yet. I will. I'm going to go back and rewatch it and pay a little more attention. there's a term that they use for their, it's like tetraprism or something like
Oh,
they,
they were going to say suppository.
yeah. It's the same thing. It goes in the same place.
Yeah.
It, it it doesn't have to go front to back. It uses,
Yep.
angled glass, whatever. It goes to the body of the phone. So there are kind of ways around that. But I think the iPhone Air, if they call it that or whatever, will probably be like the original MacBook Air. There'll be some concessions to the thinness and size, whatever, but they'll still have the other ones. Just like when they did the iPhone 10 or whatever, they still sold. That was probably the year they did iPhone 8, right? Like they did both together, right?
Mhm.
So at some point we should expect those things to get the thinner thing, but there'll be people who just, well, like when you buy a Pixel Fold, you're like, look, I know I'm sacrificing on the camera here, even though camera's a big deal. It's still a good camera, right? But it's not the pro level cameras you see in the other phones. It's going to be like that probably, but you sacrifice something to gain something else, or to lose something else, which is money or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
The AirPod Pro Max is the definition of minimum update.
There was a
New
lot
color
of
and a
this.
USB-C, and that was about it.
They would cycle through an image of a product, and you think, here we go, new one. Nope, same product, different colors. Fun. Or the AirPods Pro, AirPods Pro. Yeah, there's no 3 yet,
Mhm.
but here's some new features for the one we shipped 2 years ago. I
Yep.
mean, whenever that thing came out. I mean, even for Apple, this is kind of, I don't know what you call this, slow moving, evolutionary. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair. I mean, I guess in some ways to be so critical of it, but it's because they're great products. I mean, in their own way or whatever. But I don't know. I've always had Apple every year almost I buy an iPhone. I do this. I've had Macs and iPads of every kind, Apple Watches, whatever. I've spent more money on Apple stuff this year. I feel like I need to go to confession, talk to a priest or something. I don't know what's going on. It's not a plan. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's just worked out that way. It's very strange.
That's how they do it, right?
That's how they get you. It's a little chunkier soul at a time.
Yeah.
And then the barbarians come in. I don't know.
Yep. So what? You can order the stuff Friday and it ships next week, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, you can pre-order it starting Friday morning. And, well, I think for us it might be 1 p.m. Or I'd have to go look at it. I don't remember. 11
Yeah.
a.m. or something. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, if you know you want it, you want to do it now. Order the case right now. You can get it. Beats is making a case, by the way. Did you see that?
Beats? Why?
Yep. I know. I don't know. Apple doesn't have the fine woven leather thing anymore, so they
I
didn't
wonder why.
I ordered one last year and sent it back immediately, like before the phone even arrived, because immediately people were like, "You can scratch this looking at it in the store," like it was so crappy. But yeah, so they have the clear thing and they have the silicone, and now Beats is making they don't like 4 colors, whatever it is, but strange. I don't know. So many questions.
Yeah. Maybe it has more bass if you use that.
Yes. It improves the speakers.